Burns, I think, was going to tell me not to get butt hurt.
I did say that. I said don't get butt hurt again.
I think we need to have a safe word for when Keith is about to get angry.
Dr. Banner over here.
Hey, what's that safe word?
Let's set it right now. Areola. Areola is the safe word.
Hey everybody, welcome to the DBLBACK Podcast. Glad to have you with us. This is an opportunity for me and a couple of my buddies to chit-chat, talk about things that we need to stay up on. We figured it'd be nice to invite you to catch up with us. So I'm Brent, I'm your host. I got a couple different individuals here ready to chat. Think of it as a couple guys sitting in a bar. In the booth next to you. Feel free to listen in and join in on the conversation later. Belch. Why don't we just let the Belcher introduce himself? Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Keith. I'm social media editor of DBLBACK, and I enjoy long walks on the beach.
Also got Dave here, editor-in-chief, DBLBACK. I enjoy long walks on the beach right beside Keith, and when there's only one set of footprints, he has begun to carry me.
My name is Ryan, and the Urban Dictionary word of the day is vampire ass, which is an ass so juicy that you can't help but sink your teeth into it.
Oh, man.
That's what it means.
Hey Ryan, I think you have a vampire ass.
Thanks, Brent.
Isn't that 2 words of the day? That's like a word combo of the day. Is it hyphenated?
I don't want to get into the technicalities. It's just it's on their site. It says it's under words of the day. They actually have multiple now. There's a lot of words.
Okay. It meets the piss test then, because it said words of the day. Well, good. What do we need to catch up on this week? I think let's continue our conversation that started just before the podcast. I'd love for you to tell me more about Snapchat, because the whole idea just confuses the shit out of me.
Snapchat is not a social media app used only for selfies and nudes. It's also for jokes. It's a very bro-y app in its creation, because you wanted to send some nudes and whatnot, or have nudes sent to you. But it's also a great app because you can send jokes. What they've done is they've created a 10-second interval where you can take video or take a picture and send it to your friends. You can color on it, draw on it, you can write words, and they've added filters like Instagram and whatnot. But it's hilarious, and it doesn't sound as good when I tell you it now.
Because that's the thing I struggle with. Like, your use of Snapchat was the first concept that I ever had that, like, this was something that I would actually do. Because, I'm thinking duck face selfies and, like,
Dick
gangbangers trying to send dick pics everywhere. Yeah.
Doesn't the picture, like, automatically go away too? It gets wiped.
It doesn't necessarily go away because you can actually save the image, which I like to do if they're funny. For instance,
self-deemed funny.
When my dog became
Chewbacca.
His dog was Chewbacca, and wasn't there an R2-D2 trash can or something in the corner there?
Yeah, he also became a walrus one night as well, which was like the following night. I don't know if you guys can see this or not.
I don't think I got that one. Now I'm offended.
Actually, I'm going to start to vomit because you keep doing a Blair Witch with your phone.
It's a good thing the podcast listeners don't have to see the video.
I know it may cause seizures.
And if you're at home and you're listening and Keith bugs you, just use the safe word.
Yeah.
Which we've decided is
Areola. But now it's
the evening.
But now it's when I bug you.
Well, I think it's just when you get too defensive, buddy. I think when you need to win the podcast, I'm just gonna shout Areola.
That's fair.
What about when I get too broy? Do I just need to call my wife and have her come downstairs and call me out in front of everybody?
I feel like that's a good idea.
Okay. Good thing I'll have my my text available.
Yeah.
Brent, we just saw you doing the dishes, so you're not going to be bro-y for a while.
Yeah.
It's like an investment. I do something super domestic, and then I act bro-y for a while, and then I go back and
You're making deposits, bro.
exactly.
The bro-y thing to do would be to smash them on the ground or to make some pukes or peasants, aka pledges, clean them for you.
I feel like that's the
stuff.
upside. That's the upside of having a couple of kids. Can't you just, they get to like 5 or 6 years old, you can treat them like pledges?
That's fair. I mean, I think your entire parenting philosophy would come into question, and maybe child services would get involved. But I hear you. There's definitely an upside.
No. Mrs. Doubtfire did that. She made those kids work.
Yeah,
But
I'm
her
not
fake
talking
boobs
about.
caught on fire too.
I'm not talking about paddling and fake tits. I'm just talking about, menial labor and the shit that I don't want to do.
From my experience in a fraternity, it was the only thing that I did that they didn't want to do was cleaning. The rest of everything I did was to make them laugh and look like a jack-off.
I can attest to that.
You were just yourself then, most of the time?
Exactly.
Cool.
That's why I was deemed super pledge.
Do you have that on the fridge?
No, it's shaved into my back hair.
It's pretty epic.
Do you make your wife keep that up every other week? Just come on, you know where the letters go.
No, it's just muscle memory at this point.
Manscaped maintenance, it's awesome.
If I'm going on vacation, I'll get just the letters waxed out. It's cool.
There you go.
Nice.
Let's stop talking about back hair. Snapchat, to me, is like it's a great opportunity to just make my friends laugh. But like where do you find the inspiration to actually start? That's what I don't get.
Well, there's a few sites.
Tell me about the art of it.
Like BuzzFeed has, people take this seriously, so they make funny jokes like every day. I had a friend who took pictures of his mustache every day for November as it grew, and it was really annoying, and then it started getting really funny. People, they save their pictures, like I said, and they throw them up on BuzzFeed or whatever, and then I just use that as a guide and more of a challenge, really, to improve. And then I just, whenever something funny comes, like if I'm in a meeting or I'm at work and you just want to have that 10-second getaway, you just draw something ridiculous and send it to your friends.
I think that's the key. I think from the ones that you just showed us, that you have to let boredom guide you, pretty much. If you're bored in any situation, take a picture of the funniest thing around you and then draw something even funnier.
Yeah, and like if you can get super incognito and just like take a picture of some white trash person next to you and then just write something funny on there, it's really awesome. And what also is great is like responding to your friends' text messages with like facial expressions, but then also drawing something on there. Some people I know even use Snapchat to text girls that they don't want a history of.
Oh.
It doesn't even have text message. You just send a message and, like you can only fit, I think it's like 50 characters. And he'll just send a text to her and then they just speak only through, like he just takes a picture of the ground and types, "What were you up to?" And then that goes away forever.
So how does that girl feel when she gets that text? Like, does she realize that she's the down low chick? Is she okay being?
She feels like the
down low
bottom
chick?
bitch. She feels like the bottom bitch, man.
I think she was okay with it for a while, and then she was like, "He only talks to me in Snapchat. Is that normal?"
She didn't put it together right away, is what you're
No.
saying.
I think she thought it was cool. Like, oh yeah, we're talking on Snapchat. It's like that new thing.
I think you have to know. I mean, when I was in college, it was if you got texted after midnight. But I think it's now, if you get texted through Snapchat, you fucking know. You know what's up.
You're the bust down chick. That's what it is.
It's the 2014 version of the booty call when you get the all-text Snapchat.
It's like not even a picture of his face. It's just the
Picture
ground
of the
with
ground.
words on it. It's like, hey, here's my shoes. What are you up to? You want to bang?
It's on the walk home from the bar because he couldn't find a girl fugly enough to bring home. He's walking, and he's like, fuck, who else can I call?
Who can I text in 50 characters or less?
Oh, gripes.
That's actually probably good for the inebriated, though.
True. And you don't even have to type. You can just draw the words on there.
Because typing is so much harder than drawing words on your tiny smartphone screen. But yes.
Do they have autocorrect within Snapchat? Because I feel like that would be key in this situation.
Hang on, I'm texting a picture of my feet to Brent.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Do we have a safe word for this type of activity?
No, we're gonna let this go.
I love it.
Keith, you're up.
No, I just don't like being excluded, man, because I'm not in on the Snapchat stuff. I mean, one thing with me, I'm busy as shit in life. That's what I got.
You're keeping humans alive over there?
Hashtag keeping humans alive, for sure.
Brent was telling us a little bit about that. Burns, aren't you glad you don't have to keep any humans alive except for yourself? Isn't that great?
What are you talking about?
Those two have children, and we have freedom.
What are these words that you speak to me right now?
Do you feel responsible for your wife's life at this point?
Yeah, I do.
That's romantic.
Them some fighting words. Did you see his brow got all furrowed?
Yeah, I do.
How dare you question my love for my wife?
Exactly. I pay my rent.
I pay my rent.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Enjoy the time while you have it, man. Because keeping a pug alive is mad easy compared to keeping kids alive.
Yeah, I mean
You have a dog?
What?
Yeah. I got a dog.
Wait, so it's kind of like keeping something alive, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they can fend for themselves, dude.
Can they
Yeah.
now? If they're locked in your apartment, can they really fend for themselves?
They'll just eat a ton of shit that's probably not edible, but it will sustain them for a while.
Yeah, I feel like anything that you can just toss a cup worth of food in a bowl and then throw the bowl on the ground, I feel like that's not as challenging as keeping a baby from, rolling on top of itself and suffocating itself in its own bed.
You know, it is kind of weird. We're the most highly evolved species on the planet, yet we're the least capable right after birth.
You want me to tell you why that is, Brent?
I'd
I was
love
hoping
for
he
you
was
to
gonna
tell
go
me
into
why.
this.
I took an anthropology class or two. I'll tell you exactly why that is.
Why?
So this is based on book learning.
It's based on, the hazy remembrances of my time in Champaign-Urbana. So the reason why this happens is because we evolved these gigantic-ass brains, so our bodies can't develop anything really except for enough room to have our brains. We still have to be born, live birth, out of a lady, and our heads are so goddamn
Wait,
big.
slow down.
So a man
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
do this?
Brent, do you need me to back up to how babies are made?
Please. Or should we
Yeah.
just save that for another podcast?
Brent could, impregnate the world just by bumping into him. The guy's fucking fertile as all shit.
But
Truth.
in all seriousness, this is the most rudimentary explanation of it that I can remember. But it has to do with the fact that our brains are so gigantic, and we still have to figure out a way to have a live birth out of a lady. So you can't have a developed skeletal system, can't have a developed muscular system. That's why we're born so helpless and shitty.
I was going to say the same thing, but not as intelligently.
I don't know. That wasn't that intelligent.
Yeah,
I'll call myself out there. That wasn't that great.
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
It sounded better in my head.
Walk me through it one more time. We have to be
Out
less
of a
developed
lady.
physically
Yes.
and mentally just to survive the childbirth. Is that what you're saying?
No. What I'm saying is that there's only a finite amount of space, that there's only a finite width to the human vagina during childbirth. Okay?
Is it the vagina or the uterus that's the problem then?
I think it's probably both.
Can we just call it lady parts? Lady
Yeah,
parts?
sorry. It's probably both. But what I'm saying is that our heads, our skulls, are so big because they have to house this gigantic brain that there's not enough room for us to also develop muscular systems and skeletal systems and all that sort of stuff.
Isn't it the folds of the brain, not the size of the brain, that makes us intelligent?
Well, I think on a human-to-human comparison level, yes. But on a human-to-ape comparison level, on a human-to any other type of animal level, it's the girth of the brain. That's what brought us from trees and whacking each other with sticks to the highly evolved men that sit in front of their podcast mics today.
Isn't it also something to do with how much hereditary, I don't even know the word for it, hereditary programming you have, where the brain stems of other animals are larger because that's where all your core reflexes and everything are, and humans more of your day-to-day activities are learned through your cortex.
Yeah,
something along those lines.
I think that's absolutely true.
That sounded mad intelligent, by the way.
Yeah, no. way more than a human vagina can only stretch so large comment.
So what you're saying is we need to stretch our women's vaginas more, and then our babies would be able to do more things.
They'll come out running.
I mean, I feel like
I'm extrapolating here.
Yeah, extrapolating out on an evolutionary scale over thousands and thousands of generations. Yeah, you might be right there, buddy.
Okay. Duly noted.
I can dig that. Yeah, I can dig that.
Also, welcome to Anthropology 101 with the double-back douchebags.
I don't know that I like being clumped into that parent company right there.
Areola.
Oh, Keith's upset. Areola.
Well, that's neat. What about you, Brian? Sitting in traffic and drawing stuff on your cell phone?
Yeah, it's what I do.
I'm going to say something. This is going to be like the first episode of Breaking Bad where he tapes his confession, but he says at the beginning it's not a confession. So I've started this new thing in traffic, which I feel like is definitely illegal, and I don't want law enforcement to talk to me about it. However...
Wait, but you're drinking, so it's not a confession, so it's not real. Whatever you say at this point can't be held against you.
Thank you. Burns is my lawyer.
I learned that on True Detective, which I'd love to talk about later.
All right. But I've started doing this thing in traffic where I take my cell phone as it streams Netflix and I put it up where my speedometer is, and when I'm moving 5 miles an hour in bumper-to-bumper traffic, I feel like that's an effective use of my time. I really had to catch up on House of Cards. I really had to catch up on a couple other things.
No.
So I feel like I'm justified here.
I will be the first to chime in. Burns, do you know about the Illinois law? I'm sure, right?
The cell phone law?
Yeah.
You tell me again. I only lived there a brief time. Cell phones weren't invented.
Cell phones were only a figment of Hollywood invention. In Illinois currently, it is illegal to hold your phone. Be caught holding your phone.
Brent, I was very clear. Brent, I was very clear.
He didn't say he was holding.
I was not holding my phone.
You were not. That is
Brent,
true.
excuse me. My client said he wasn't holding his phone. He said he puts it up on the dashboard and listens to House of Cards.
It was all right. So it was propped directly in front of my speedometer. I was not touching or holding it in any way. And to explain a little bit further why this is such a great experience, I'm Bluetooth streaming all of the sound from Netflix through my car speakers. It's fantastic.
All the sounds. Have you heard of audiobooks?
Delightful.
I have these things that you speak of, these audiobooks. I enjoy them, but they lack the video that I need in my driving experience.
Oh boy!
And the sounds can't possibly be nearly as fulfilling.
You may want to
in your
plead the
Bluetooth
fifth
audio.
pretty soon. I think you're starting to say too much incriminating. You should just plead the fifth right now.
Sorry.
No one knows his last name unless they go to the website.
Or they listen to the introduction of the podcast.
Damn it! Destroy the evidence.
Areola!
No, I'll be the first to admit that it's hard to fully comply with this law. It's damn near impossible. I have Bluetooth through my car speakers, and I have yet to determine how to hang up a call through my Bluetooth and the controls on my steering wheel. So if I make a call, on your ear? No, I don't have an earpiece. It's through the car.
Oh. There's got to be a button on your.
There's got to be, right? I've read the instructions. Probably not well enough.
That's not true.
So Brent, what you're telling me is I should call you next time I know you're in your car, pretend like we've hung up, and then I might get to hear you sing some of my favorite 80s songs or something?
No, you'll just start playing House of Cards, and I'll get the audiobook version of it so that I can actually be up on relevant TV series.
I feel like that's useful for you.
Yeah, I think that would be a huge service that you could be doing for me, Dave.
It's a date,
Dave
man.
Foltz.
It's fuck.
Shit.
Fuck. If Illinois State Troopers are listening to the recording of this podcast, this is not a confession.
In your squadron car.
This is not a confession.
Do you think police listen to podcasts in their car?
They got to do something, man.
I mean,
I will tell you for sure they don't listen to our podcast.
Not yet.
Yeah, they might be double backing on this shit, you know.
They'll double back on this double back.
10 or 12 years into the future, they might find this thing.
They could tweet us
In the year 2000.
at DBLBACK.com.
No, not that far into the future. We're all dead, and this world is probably a burnt husk of itself 12 years from now.
Because you've crashed into some nuclear reactor because you're streaming House of Cards in your automobile.
I mean, either that or some shit has gone down in the Ukraine that has caused World War III.
Yeah, that's more likely.
Holy fuck.
I doubt it's going to cause World War III.
Speaking of the Ukraine, I came across a video of John
Segways.
Green, explaining.
Hey, can you tell Dave? Yeah, tell Dave who John Green is.
And that's what
Tom
I wanted
Green?
to do is talk about John Green. No, John Green. Have you guys ever heard of the vlogbrothers
Yeah, I have.
on
He has.
YouTube? I strongly recommend getting into them. I prefer John to Hank.
Yeah, Brent's inside of him all the time. He just wanted to let you know.
I'm inside of him.
He said you wanted to get into them. Did you not?
We don't
I
want
do-
to.
I
We don't
do
want to
literally.
double back on him. We want to get up in him.
So you can double back or you can enter his body, whatever is more fitting for you.
You prefer the inside of John's body to the inside of Hank's body, is what you're saying. Just to clarify.
It feels better. John is a published author. He has a movie, at least one movie based off his books coming out. I think they're doing The Fault in Our Stars. He has a couple other novels, most of which are on my to-read, but I haven't actually gotten into them. But their YouTube series, there are multiple, are just fucking fantastic. They have a whole following on the internet called the Nerd Vitaria. Some of the stuff is super dorky that I can't even handle it, and I'm a pretty huge dork. He does a whole series where it's just him doing, I think, a 2 or 3 minute video on Fridays, and then his brother Hank does a 2 or 3 minute video on, I think, Tuesdays. And for years, they just sent these videos back to one another to keep in touch because they didn't live in the same state. They used YouTube. And then they started getting a cult following. They're both super intelligent guys, follow shit. They've created a number of different web series, some of which you've probably actually seen, but not known to associate them with anything else. They do a whole series of mental floss videos where they just compile lists of crazy trivial facts. They have a YouTube channel called SciShow, which takes basic science concepts, from elementary all the way to high school, and just does a quick little video. So it's a great educational tool, but it's also always entertaining. And just today I watched a video by John, which in a 2 or 3 minute span explained exactly how the Ukraine has gotten as fucked up as it is. And I didn't realize the whole pull over the past 100 years basically between being Russia or being Europe. And apparently the Ukraine means borderland in some language. So I don't think Ukrainian, because why would they call themselves that? So it's just fantastic, and I would strongly recommend diving into anything Vlogbrothers related. Keith, do you have anything to add to that conversation there, sir?
They did something on the Affordable Care Act, which they really did a good job with that. I mean, the one thing I would say is they do a really good job of just taking something that's a little bit more complex and people may be used to, dealing with. They just break it down in layman terms. So they're both really smart.
Hey, did you say what they said about Ukraine? Did I miss that part?
Yeah, you did.
I don't know how much I learned as far as details, other than just how complicated and kind of unfortunate their history has been over the past 100 years of essentially trying to be part of Europe versus be part of Russia, and they've just gotten fucked pretty much every time. I just found it fascinating. I didn't realize how much how lengthy the history is that's kind of put them into this situation. So
on your Tumblr, one documented obsession, you put a picture up of Kiev pre and post kind of revolution. That was pretty cool.
It's a neat, I don't know, I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm political or anything, but I thought it was a neat image to show how it had gone from such a beautiful town center to basically, World War II mess.
Yeah, the picture's pretty captivating. I thought it was really well done.
I'm trying to plan a trip with my wife here soon, and it's almost hard to kind of look at the different places we could go and what kind of turmoil is going on around it and see if it's worth it to us to even go in that area.
It's pretty crazy to think about how much more information there is for us to digest than there is for even like my parents. There was so much less information that was just out there and available.
Yeah, and even more is in these cities and countries where all this is happening, they're able to access the internet and see what's going on, so it's harder for those governments to block them and to prevent them from seeing what else is going on in the world.
What I was going to say, though, about the Arab Spring is that Egypt actually was successful in shutting down the internet. And I can't recall, but there was a gentleman, he was an activist, man, he set up like old school dial-up connections. That's how they were able to get the tweets out.
It's crazy to think that the same tool that we in America use for dick pics on Snapchat is the absolute most important tool for freedom and democracy in other countries.
And here we are talking about serious stuff, and I'm just like looking at pictures of jackets I want to buy.
So what are you guys looking forward to this next upcoming week? What's going on for you guys?
I wish I had something exciting to report. Man, I'm in school full time and working and keeping humans alive. That's what I got on the agenda.
Oh man, sounds so barren and bleak.
He's in the weeds though. Like he's in the craziest time. Like how old is Quinn?
3 months.
The 12-week through like week 16 to 18, it's just like nothing works. Every like best plan you have on like raising this child and like trading if there's actually another human in the home ready to help you and shit, like from my experience that was apparently like that's when the digestive system is fully maturing, and so like they're just uncomfortable and bitchy all the time. No matter what child it is, they're just crank monsters. And so you don't sleep, and then you wake up the next day and you have to function because you're probably working, and then the next night you have to come act like you still love the thing that is driving you absolutely insane.
I didn't realize I was Dave Fult's personal clown. And I had to entertain you.
Only sometimes, Areola. But
You can get
here's a
fucked
question.
with areola.
Here's a question.
He's so upset about the areola.
He has just run through the safe word brick wall.
You got a smile on your face, don't you?
I do, that's true. Thank you, buddy. So back to my original question. Besides Keith, whose life is a barren wasteland of angry digestive systems, what are you guys looking forward to this week?
I'm looking forward to the season finale of the first season of True Detective. It's insanely good. It actually has stopped me from getting into season 2 of House of Cards because I just can't stop watching it. It's each episode is an hour long, but it feels like a full 2 or 3 hour movie. It's just so intense. But it has Matthew McConaughey and Woody
Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson, yeah. And it's insanely good. It's it's exactly what it sounds like. They're both detectives, and they're in Louisiana. It's shot really well. It's in multiple time frames, and they do an amazing job of like McConaughey switching weights. They must have filmed it at some point, like while he was doing Dallas Buyers Club. But he looks young. He looks old. He's clean cut. He's a mess. It's incredible television. It's on HBO. Definitely need to check it out.
I was drinking the Kool-Aid for Matt McConaughey once I saw Mud.
You know what my favorite McConaughey role is? You guys ever seen the movie Frailty?
Jog my memory.
It is probably from like maybe 2002 era.
2001.
2001. It's a story about two brothers and their father. Matthew McConaughey plays the grown-up version of one of the sons, and he talks about his father's quest to basically carry out God's will. So there's 2 different time frames throughout the whole movie, and you get the whole Spiel. There's a fantastic ending, but McConaughey just blew me away in that role, because before I saw him in that film, I only knew him as, fucking.
All right.
Yeah, I just knew him as that guy. Just a fantastic thriller that I would strongly recommend. That's doubling back, because you're going back 14 years or 13
Back in the
years.
time.
I'll go even further back for a McConaughey hit. I love A Time to Kill. It's the only Grisham movie adaptation that I enjoy. But try to watch that speech at the end and tell me Matt McConaughey doesn't have chops.
I actually don't like him until I saw this. Like, I'll be honest. And that's what's so amazing about True Detective is how... And what's great is they have commentary from the writers and the directors after each episode, so they can kind of tell you where you've been and then, like, where they're headed with the characters. And McConaughey, like, basically invented his character and just runs with it. And they have, like, a rough script, and then he just keeps going, and he, like, invented all these new things that he thought would be cool for this character. And it's just really well... I mean, he is this character. It's insane.
That's awesome. I've really got Woody Harrelson in my head right now as Woody Boyd, because Cheers is streaming in its entirety on Netflix. So I've been watching some Cheers on Netflix.
I ought to go back and watch some Cheers. It was always on, like my parents watched it, but I didn't appreciate it. I was way too young. But some of the shit that like clips you see on YouTube, like some of Norm's one-liners and shit like that, are just amazing.
It really is just like the perfect sitcom. It is the perfect sitcom in that you know where it's going, you know what jokes are happening, you know what plot points are coming next, but you can't help but laugh. It's absolutely the perfect sitcom.
So non-traditional too. Like every sitcom for the 40 years before and basically after, every single one is either young single people in a city doing things or a family with young children.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, Ryan, I didn't know that you like Rick Ross, man.
I'm a big fan of rap in general, and that's why Brent and I broke up, because he wouldn't play it, and now I've
That is horse shit.
Career.
That is horse shit.
Well, to be quite honest with you, I have an extensive knowledge of rap in general. So if
yeah, I mean, we vibed on Kanye. Why don't you think that Rose is right there?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I really don't know you that well, and I just want you to let me in, man. Just kind of feel like an outsider right now.
Here's a question. What was the name of your group, Brent and Ryan, before you broke up over rap?
It was either Brent and Ryan or Ryan and Brent, depending on who wrote the sign.
Brent and Ryan, yeah. It was Brent and Ryan.
Only because of ascending alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Actually, because the place where we played, I also was a pizza cook.
Nice.
And at first they paid us,
manager.
and then they stopped paying us, and we kept playing.
Brent,
because
what happened
we would
to you?
just get a lot of tips.
Brent, what happened to you? The trajectory you were on at that point in your life.
Oh no, I had a bright future.
Stratospheric success was in your future.
And
Pizza cook / manager is a good place to start. It's a great foundation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Strong.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, really quickly, rap.
He's reminiscing.
Cash rules everything around me, cream.
Get the money.
Give me a throwback track that you dig. Let's go, Burns.
I mean, I'm not gonna throw it back too far, because I just really I don't know what I mean. I don't even know what this genre is called. It's like the new rapper sing. I mean, it's basically Drake, but there's all these new Drakes.
Emo hip hop.
It's like they're a rapper, singer, weed smoker is basically their resume.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good genre.
Have you heard that new? So Rick Ross just came out with a new album, right? And there's a song called "Sanctified" on there with Kanye.
I have not heard it.
It is very tasty.
I'm salivating. I'd like to hear it.
Let's see if we can make this happen now. Is it playing?
It is.
Yeah, I heard a little bit.
I gotta turn it down a little bit here, though. Hang on.
Yeah, we should also probably keep it to a limited amount of seconds so that we don't.
Yeah. Let's just get the
sued by
Kanye
Rick Ross.
verse. Let's just get the Kanye verse.
Yeah, Rick Ross might be very litigious. Who knows?
He was a correctional officer before he was a rapper.
I'm glad I have my lawyer, Ryan Burns, playing the music.
So it's got the soulful Kanye track, right? You guys hearing this?
No.
Not now.
I am vaguely. I have senses like a wild animal, though.
I think you got to turn it way up. Keith's brainstem is bigger than his actual brain mass, so his senses are a little bit more acute than ours.
I mean, that's just a fact of life.
Well, cool. That gives me some stuff to take away that I can do legally, you know, and just listen to the music in my car as opposed to have surround sound audio and video replacing my speedometer.
It's the best solution, I'm telling you guys. Just give it a shot and try not to crash.
I've always wanted to do it, but I would never try that. Do you finish the show when you get done? Like when you get home, do you just like throw it on the TV and then you finish it, or you just catch those few minutes?
Hell, sometimes I sit in the car and wait to come in until it's done.
No, to be quite honest, I'm just tired of you guys not being up on that House of Cards season 2, man. And I'm jealous that Burns is watching True Detective.
I can get off if you guys want to talk about it.
No. We'll wait till you're done.
Ryan, you complete me, man. I wouldn't want you to get off the call.
We'll have that as a future double back. It's been real catching up. Any of the listeners, absolutely, you know, chime in on any of this stuff. Hit us up in the normal ways. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter @doubleback. And then definitely check out the site doubleback.com.
Finger guns.
Finger guns.